Could we create a Super Mario 3D game by coding it under 10 lines and within 2 hours? Keep watching to see if the counter on the top runs out of time before we finish our challenge under 10 lines. We will start creating the player with a blue capsule. I forgot to create a character 3D in our game. Instead, I just created a no 3D. It's an easy change, but if I have such kind of mistake too often, it will be very difficult to accomplish the challenge. To simplify things later, we will assign the collision layers. Additionally, we will create a simple world to throw our player into it. Such a bright white texture will make our eyes to bleed, so let's get some prototyping textures. With our freaking dull functional texture in place, we will create the collider. If we can remember correctly, collision layer 1 is assigned to the world elements. So, clicking on create 3 mesh static body will create all what we need. Now assign the collision layer a mask for our player. And remember the intro part. The challenge is about coding or writing under 10 lines in total. Well, we can add a script to the player body 3D with a template that will make some work for us. And we are not breaking the rules. A fixed camera should be nice as a starting point. We also need some illumination, and the default one should be okay. And I'm not making the capsule joke, because it's like the Uncle Ben story of every development video. Okay, everything is working fine and we did not write a single line of code. Boom! After that, let's create a simple world with CSGMeshes and create a lovely environment. Me cago en la puta! I forgot to use collision property on the CSG combiner node. Shame on you, Revy. By default, Godot has assigned the UI input keys. No, I think this is a massive hurdle. Nothing I can do to overcome this situation. Oh, that's it, 0 lines of code needed. Yeah, but look, this is an ugly game. Nobody will want to play this shit. As said in many other videos, my art skills are closer to a 3-year-old kid than a functional grown man. But my thief skills? Oh man, that's a totally different story. Eventually we will use some models from modelsresource.com. And there isn't any sort of intention to damage Nintendo's intellectual property. We choose this model by pure luck. Don't sue me, Nintendo, please, please, please. It's a bit odd having Mario on T-pose sliding around and always facing the same direction. And why not? Let's put Mario into Mixamo and make him some fun stuff. We will use the auto-rigger functionality of Mixamo, which works like charm for our purposes. Check Mario having some dancing. Yes, you are right, Counter. Let's speed up things grabbing all the movement back, if I can find it. Take a look to Mario. Well, grab the downloaded files and go to the Character Animation Combiner. You have the link in the description. Put the FBXT pose on this box and all the desired animations in this other box. This webpage made by Nilui, whatever, makes our lives much easier combining all the animations into one file. When all your animations are in place, download, extract and import into Godot. Piece of shit, it has no textures. We will need to reconfigure all the textures. Another bump in the road. When using the animation assist, the animation moves the character position due to the hip. But I think this should be easily fixed. We need to re-import the animations with the option Save to File and Keep Custom Tracks. Then we need to make unique the animations and delete the keyframes that annoys us. And let's add some color to this Mario model. There are some textures inside the downloaded file. For some strange reason, textures are flipped upside down. So revert the orientation with the UV scale configuration. What happened to your eyes, Mario? Let's see if we can fix this mess with some transparency configurations. Now that we have our functional model with animations, we need to add some line to switch into run mode and idle mode. I'm very suspicious because I don't want to write more lines than necessary, and after that deciding which feature I keep or discard. For now we will keep with those lines. If velocity in the X set plane is greater than 0, we will switch the run animation, otherwise Mario can have some rest with the idle animation. 4 precious lines to switch animations is really expensive. Let's see if Godot lets us reduce this number with this stupid idea. I have no idea that was legal in Godot, but yeah, good for us. Now that we have an active Mario, let's face the movement direction. We just need to use the player global position and not the velocity vector. When stopped, it will give us an error. This is due to the zero values, but we can spend more lines and it works. Okay, timer, I know you hate funny moments, but look at this. Okay, I will fix it. Oh, I tried a couple of stupid things like rotate the node, and it didn't work. So make things right, Revi. We will solve the rotation problem, moving Mario towards the direction of the movement, but inverted. So let's face the movement direction with this line of code. Don't have to analyze the reason, but it worked. Good enough for me. So we have our player running and idle along the map like a pro. Few lines of code. Yes, I know time is running. Let's get the asset from Quaternius. That guy is amazing. The nature pack with CC0 license will be awesome for us. Let's grab the assets and make a better environment. We will start with the mainland with the CSGMeshes while the asset pack gets downloaded. I think a world full packed of static platforms is like a pizza made only with tomato, and we need more ingredients. Moving platforms will be our cheese and ham of our level. I need to take some time to create a larger map. As part of the main goals, dying is needed. Putting a big area on the bottom of the level that will reload the current scene when touching it will be enough for now. And as said previously, that makes our pizza finished and the cheese in our pizza. I feel like the enemy is needed just to prove that I can achieve the goal prior to start decorating. Now welcome to the ham of our pizza. We are not eating them, but they are so cute. I'm surprised they make our life a real struggle. It seems importing the model works perfectly, and we will configure the collision layer to the enemy layer and the collision mask to the player on world. To simplify things, we just create the hurt area and connect the body enter signal to the previous respawn function. 0 lines of code. But what's a Goomba if we can't jump over him? We need to add a new area called kick area under our player. That area will kill the Goomba when jumping over him. And to make the game easier, we want to bounce once dead. We can achieve this little thing adding the jump velocity to the y-axis as a regular jump. Y-axis, Revi. Y-axis. Y-axis. And we didn't realize previously that we need an additional area. If don't, we will kill the bottom area that respawns as X. It looks good, but the standing still enemies are not too challenging. We can make them chase us relentlessly. Let's see. Create a script for the node as for the player. This is totally legal as we stated in the rules. But this time we don't need the majority of this stuff, so let's get rid of it. It will not subtract lines on the counter. So let's take a look into the Godot documentation page for navigation. Well, it doesn't seem too complex, so let's copy this part into our code. And now let's proceed to shrink the code to the maximum. But we need to chase the player, so we need to access the player position that is assigned to the game scene. We could create a global variable or pass it via a function call, but it will consume various precious lines of code. That's a tough decision. Well, I decide my best option. Let's add the navigation agent node to our enemy. Bing! Okay, let's add our player to a group and use the get first node in group function. I think it do the work. Yeah. And then with these 2 lines of code we can make the enemy chase the player. Now we need to finish streaming out our code and run Mario run. The Goomba is fast as hell. Have we forgotten about the downloaded asset pack? Okay, we are importing the needed assets from the nature pack, not changing a single color, no time, and expanding our little world of platforms. Need to be said, this pack is glorious. First, retexturing our previous platforms will be good to fit the rest of the color scheme of the asset pack, and adding some trees to the scene to make it more eye-catching. To keep the things fast, we are just creating the colliders with the Create Tree Mesh Static Body option. I've used a bunch of other techniques in one of my previous videos, but time is ticking. This is going to be messy. It would be better to do it per scene, but making it local is the fastest option to create the static body. Let's continue adding stuff to the level. Do not forget to bake again the navigation mesh when finished adding meshes. And the pepperoni of our pizza are moving platforms. Hell yeah! For the moving platform, let's use, well, a square platform. We don't have more time. Let's create a new scene called Moving Platform V for the vertical moving platform, and other one called Moving Platform H for the horizontal moving platform. And if time is available, Moving Platform R for rotating platforms. Yeah. This is creativity, guys. Each platform will be a static body with a collision shape and a mesh via animation player. We only need to create a new animation and add the desired tracks. In this case, we will use a 3D position track and create the needed keyframes. Do not forget to activate the loop and the autoplay options. That was too easy, so give it a try. Where are our platforms? Oh, I was dumb. Okay, our animation player was referenced to the position of its root. That condition made it to move the object because it was pegging from the root game node. To solve it, we just need to create an additional level as a node 3D, so the animation player will change the position only inside the scene. Let's test it. No! Why I'm not standing still on the platform? Oh, looking at the different nodes that we can use, we can find the almighty scriptable body 3D, and it looks like it's a perfect match for our needs. We'll make a small test to check, and yes! Let's change all our moving platforms root node to scriptable bodies 3Ds. We need to make our level a bit bigger, I guess. I'm thinking about saving some lines of code, and we could create the enemies directly on the level, but we have some spare lines of code to spend. Let's create an enemy spawner, just with a node 3D and a timer, connecting the timeout signal, and remember, it's the same rule as previously, no line is consumed if we are not coding it. But we are saving lines, so instead of creating the enemy and assigning it to the level, we are trying to perform it in a one-liner. Why, it's never an easy task. I think no matters where to assign the enemy because it will be on the scene, so let's assign the enemy to the spawner. That will make the enemy to be spawned at the position of the spawner. Oh, time is running and we don't have a winning condition. Let's do this fast. We are creating an area 3D with a collision object and we will add a beautiful flower. It's simple, it's cute, and it's good enough. But the level is almost empty, so let's add some decoration. Okay, I realize the player needs to be aware when he beats the level. Let's make a simple UI with a label that says, "You win." We will show the label big enough for the player to be aware of that, and we are done. We have assigned the collision layer goal for that purpose, and create a new area 3D to detect that we have reached the goal. Testing again. I'm so bad. But here... I'm so bad. But I have to say I'm concerned about the time, so we will move our player directly into the finished platform to check if it works properly. I knew something is wrong. I made the goal an area 3D, but the signal is triggered by body enter. It can be solved just changing the node type to static body. Let's try again. Nice. And now let's count the lines used. 10 lines, guys. No. The challenge is to make it possible under 10 lines, not in 10 lines. I'm failing the challenge. No. I'm not prepared for such a failure. I'm doing this desperately. I think I have an idea. Let's duplicate and rename the animation that way. 0 for the idle animation and 1 for the running animation. And now to select which animation to play, we can select one of another based on the length of the velocity vector. Why is it working? Well, the velocity vector length will always be 0 when stopped or speed when moving. So we only need to clamp the values from 0 to 1 to select the proper animation. Do not forget to transform into a string. Now we are done! Now we are done! We made it! We made it in 9 lines! We are now in the Olympus of the game devs! I dare you! I dare you! Are you brave enough to raise your stake in this challenge? Let me know in the comments.